Hey guys, KCTCG here. Today I'm with Sebs and with John.
What's up, guys?
What's up? So we are technically revisiting another topic today. This time it's market versus the community and how it coincides, how it works together. Um, just to go over it, just a little recap. Those that I guess somehow if you don't know what the market is, it is just what you use to price check, what you use to gauge whether or not a card is worth something, worth pennies, or worth your life fortune. But some people may not know that. But how it coincides, it's pretty much if your game is available in your area. This is the very shorthand version. If the game is available in your area, then the market exists, which means a community can exist. But if the market kills the game, meaning overcharges or makes it so the cards are inaccessible to the general public, then your game is gonna die. Simple as that. But lately, it's gotten more and more out of hand, especially with people that, how do we say it, ball on a budget.
Yeah, people try and get too much value for too little monies.
I mean, not even just that, they're asking for too much for almost nothing in return just because they think they're social figureheads.
Yeah, uh, some people do that. See it here and there, and they're gonna try and use whatever they can to, get a discount, even if it's like faking the funk. Some people do it, but I
That
mean,
that
hey,
simp
I
life.
personally just wouldn't sell to them. I'm like, look, I'm strict when it comes to my prices. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. That's fine with me. Doesn't bother me. I don't lose any sleep over it.
So the issue I have honestly is that I've seen so many people that now complain about cards that skyrocket, and just like how funny enough, just how we were talking about this earlier, privately, I guess, we mentioned that we got cards so late in the game, and people are still bitching about the price. Um, to me, that's kind of funny. Like, people are willing to still pay whatever, you know. Chain, and how much you pay for those things?
What?
Your Avas?
Oh, I think they were like 53.
Yeah, and then I think they started at like 15 or normally.
No, the on release they were 45.
Were they?
Okay.
But
No, yeah, they
yeah,
did, they did, they did.
because it was set 5 where SPs were just harder to get.
And
That's
Because
right.
you
also,
either pulled an SP or 20th triple art, which is just
Yeah,
or
it was bad.
10th
yeah, so
triple art.
even then, like 45 to 53, that's an $8 difference, and people were complaining at 45. They complained at 50, like $50. I think she went up to 75 at one point.
I don't know. I think that was
I think that was Stegria, right?
Tamayura.
No, no, Theg
Oh no,
also Theg was high. Theg
Tamira
was
was
like
high.
100
Tamayura
originally.
and Tagarea were also like 115 on release.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
really expensive.
so but the thing is, Ava was also no. I remember selling an Ava at 75 because when I checked, she was that high.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
point is, there's cards have gone up, like original 45 to 75 to 53, and at every step, people are complaining. Oh, it's so high. Why is it so high? Why are people buying it out? It's not even good. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. You want it, then there's a reason. Same
I
reason that other
think
people have to.
it's a symptom of people getting spoiled. I don't know if this makes sense. Like overdressed
Yeah,
decks, you
definitely.
could
I
build.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back in set one, I guess we'll just, or even now, like you could have built Gravidia for like $80 a month ago.
Yeah, it's not that expensive.
Fully built Gravidia with like soul crits, everything, and we're like, that's too much. I'm like, no.
It
$80
really
for a
isn't.
fully built meta deck is insane.
No,
Any other TCG would laugh you out of the room if you whined about an $80 fully built deck.
I have
Yeah,
recently
literally.
sold a deck for $300, so I don't know what people are smoking.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like we know that overdress is relatively cheap and Vanguard is pretty cheap because we just get like a good amount of product and it's not like crazy expensive just because it's not super popular. But the fact that people will sit there and still complain about it is like, yeah, it's kind of nuts. Like if you try spending 80, $90 for a meta deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Twice, anything like that, like it's like how Jaden said, they're gonna laugh you out of the room. Like that's just not gonna happen.
And the
Another
issue we
example,
have with that is just the community that lets you do it.
Mm.
another example is these like, I guess we'll call them upgrades, like the soul crits, the shield draws, the shield fronts.
Oh no, well, so
Like
soul crits,
people whine about those, but they're
yeah,
just like, you don't really need them.
Mhm.
I don't generally think you do if you just want to play. Like,
correct. If you just want to play the game, play the deck at bare basics.
Yeah, like
you
These
could get away with
triggers,
just vanilla triggers. I'm dead
correct.
serious.
yeah, you
The
can.
only vanilla I'll fight you on is the overtrigger.
Well, overtrigger is different. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
like bare bones. You do not need soul crits. You do not need shield fronts, and you
I
don't need
mean,
shield draws.
realistically, you also don't need the set PGs either, because trial deck PGs.
I would argue set PGs you do because those are broken.
The one card less rarely comes up. Realistically, at least when I play. There's a lot of times where people actually just don't even
Oh,
hit
people
that
do forget
threshold.
about it. It's super funny.
Hmm.
There, yes, that too though.
But I mean, like,
But
you still need it. Like, you could spend $4. I would say, like, if you were to spend $4 per card on a PG versus soul crits, I will say buy the PG every time.
Yeah.
what is? Let me just do a quick little check.
At least like in our game, it's just one of those things. Like we see the market. We know that things happen. We know that cards get revealed, and the American market usually tends to get like really skewed heavily, especially because we see all the results in Japan. So
Hmm.
if you're not moving like progressively with that market with the reveals, then you just get left behind. Now,
Yeah.
if you want to buy, you know, fancy SPs and all this stuff, like these aren't, you know, you don't need these cards. These aren't necessary. You don't need to fully max rarity out a deck.
Oh, a
And
good
like hell,
example is Eva Triple R. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's now, what, $15?
yeah. And like I think,
Something like that. Oh,
yeah,
it's
and
$10.
oh, okay,
But
that's not bad.
we had the promo spoiled like
Hmm.
2 months ago. Why weren't you just buying the card 2 months ago when it was like $2 a copy?
Yeah,
It
it's
was.
one of those things. Like people would want to play it because it's meta, and then also be like, oh, I was the first to have Avas. Like I had Ava SPs when they were like $15. It's like, okay, congrats, like have fun.
I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I hear a conversation like that, I literally just want to say, "Congratulations, you jumped the gun on everybody
Yeah,
else. You took your gamble, you took your risk, and you paid off.
yeah,
Now, do you
Yeah,
also
literally
invest
a
in
month ago they
stocks?
were $2.
Do you also
yeah,
invest in stocks? If not, shut up.
yeah. We
Two
we all
months
play
ago they were
this
$2. Bob's
shit.
Good was 3.
Yeah,
Like, well, that's the thing, right? Like, we have all these, oh, but a few months ago, or like, oh, but last week, oh, but yesterday. So many people are always complaining, like, oh yeah, I'm late to the party, but I don't want to pay this price. Then just don't play it
yeah.
then.
Then don't
Buy
Like,
something
exactly.
else, you'll be fine. Trust me.
the problem with this community so far is, and this is how it affects market and vice versa, is that people are just like you said, Jaden. People are too spoiled. People want to be the little kid back in mommy and daddy's lap saying, "Hey mommy, hey daddy, can you buy this for me? I don't want to pay the $20, but I know you can pay the $20, right?" Like
Mhm.
I think
stuff like
it's
that
just a bunch of new
happens.
players who don't have perspective. Because, I
Yeah,
think most of
I mean,
us
it's not even just
here
new
have been playing since
players.
it's just the beginning, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
like there's a lot of players still though. Like I deal with them on a daily basis. Trust me. They literally walk up to me and assume that I've known them for as long as what? How long has G been? 8 years now.
8 years, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like I've known them for 8 years. I don't even like. I'll be honest. I don't know their name. I just know them as person that comes in that does not buy anything because it's quote unquote too high.
yeah,
They'll just walk up and say, "Oh, hey Ken, how much is this? It's this price. Well, can you do this price for me? No, I don't know you, and you don't buy anything, so I'm not gonna do anything for you. Oh, okay. And they walk away, not even buying a piece for their deck. And then when they come back a week after, and someone asks, "Hey, do you have this?" Yeah, we do. It's this much. Well, no, I'm not selling it to you because you're not gonna buy it. And it's just a constant vicious cycle of card goes up, they want it, they don't want it.
yeah. Like we can all understand, especially like on release days, right? Like release day is probably like the best and easiest example. Prices are usually like pretty high, and then also like release days. Sometimes some things will tank, sometimes some things won't, and we see all of our meta again really early. So the things that are high, people are gonna try and buy, and they're gonna try and buy them cheap. So I mean, we know that people really want it, but again, too, if you really want it, you're gonna pay for it. If you don't care that much about playing the deck and you just want it as like a casual deck that you play with your friends, once a week, like maybe you don't want to spend that much, and that's fine. You don't have to. But if you're gonna sit there and complain about it, I mean, you got two choices: either sit there and complain or just buy it. So yeah, I'm not sure where the mentality of like the what did you call it, Jaden? It's like they're just like not babysat, but they just have a lot of privilege, like to be like, oh well, you
Well,
can
I mean,
just
it's
give it
just
to me
like
for this
people being
price.
spoiled. It's
Yeah,
it
that's right.
happened in
Perspective.
V
Well,
because like this happened a lot in V as well with like VRs and shit.
yeah,
Playset sellers would go lower and lower on like Facebook. Triple Sleeve was huge on this,
Mm-hmm.
where they would just keep like trying to undercut the other guy who's doing playsets, and they would
Yep.
just
yeah,
drive. It's competition, it's market, it's healthy, right?
I
Like it's just a
mean,
huge
it
example of
wasn't even what he was trying to do. Like that's not even considered healthy, in my opinion. Like,
yeah. It's just they were constantly trying to undercut the other person, and then
mm,
hopefully make your money back on the high rarity.
but
yeah,
there's this certain point that you drive it so low, you don't get anything out of it, even
No, you
including the
don't.
high rarity.
You just break even. It's
No,
super
you
funny.
you actually don't even break even. You actually lose money because
yeah. You nag at that point.
um like let's be real, right? What human being looks at themselves and as they're doing something for money, right? Looks at themselves and says, I'm gonna pay myself $0 an hour. Like what
Yeah, no
human
one.
being will say that? No human being will ever say that.
Oh yeah, no.
Especially when you like for example, right, you want to run your own business. And this ties into the market, like just like how Chaden was saying, people were driving prices lower and lower and lower. Like I'll be honest with you guys now that this era is over. I'm doing new era stuff, standard, not V premium. I can tell you how my prices were broken down. I know what my base price was, which was at the time $600 a case. And at the time, I was selling playsets based on my case price. So let's say the most wanted thing was a certain clan, like let's say Kagura, right? I would charge 125. How do I reach that number? Well, I did my base case price, assuming I know the ratios, which is two playsets. I would sell one playset of each and say, okay, well, if I do that, I'm left with a playset plus I have pieces left over. And if you add it all together, my playset price equated to my case price on that point. So the only money that I had left over was actually any high rarity. And at that point, because I knew people that knew that I opened so many because I had to fulfill orders, I would be able to easily flip the money. And at that time, if I paid myself, whatever, let's say, any like minimum wage job at that point would be like what, 15, $16.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
just not making that much for like a week, and that's just one case that you're
correct.
selling, and then you're hoping to make more off of it like over time. So
The business would have made like $20, and to me, I would have been okay. Well, sure, like I can stomach that, right? And then I know that there's gonna be people that listen to this and say, well, you're not paying yourself $0. You're paying yourself whatever you made off your case. All right, buddy.
okay.
Let's say this then. You wanna throw this at me? Well, let's take current standard right now. People are selling case splits for or playsets for about $80, $75, 60 even. That's a joke.
Are they?
You
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
people are
relatively
Because
going
cheap.
that
I
low.
know 50 Cards isn't right now because he's the biggest online right now,
Is
to
it
my
50? I
knowledge.
thought it was. Someone in Hawaii,
Because
the one I'm thinking of.
oh, Ideal? No, Ideal always
No,
juices their
I
gold.
deal juices, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, they're super smart. Yeah, they don't do that.
Well, so
Looking at his bundles, they're about 115 to $150.
yeah, so 115, 150, right? So people like I started at 100. And funny enough, right, people say that I'm too high, even though 115, 150, but whatever, right? But when I started at 100 and then we got the price point, I just uniformly raised everything to 125. And I am very straightforward saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to pay for goods and services, you need to pay for taxes because now PayPal has tax.
Hmm.
So here's your total, right? And then people don't like that. They want you to do every little single thing for them. They want that 125 number to be the final price they send you. Meaning,
Yeah,
if that's the case, I'm selling you a playset for maybe like 80, 90 bucks. Nah, you can move on.
95 probably. I think if you do it for
yeah,
130.
yeah.
Bro, that's even too high because I said 120, dude. Like,
Yeah,
people are just crazy. They
fuck.
don't care about how much money the person makes. They just care about how much money they're spending.
They also forget about rent. Like I'm sure
Yeah,
Frankenstein's rent is not cheap.
Even
yeah.
if I
That's
did
what
this
I was
out of
gonna
my
add in.
house, like let's just ignore the fact that I have a shop. Let's ignore the fact that there's a brick and mortar involved. Let's ignore every little thing that could add on to a price tag. I'm just
Mm.
doing that out of my house, out of my parents' basement. Like, let's. How much more degenerate do I need to be? Their basement they that the house that they own, right? Like, let's do
Yeah,
that. Like, I'm living there rent free as the terrible person that I am. Well, okay, so I get cases and I need to just barely break even. Oh, by the way, I'm eating out of my mom's kitchen because I can't go outside to pay for anything else because that's what you want me to live. That's the life that you want to happen. Like, let's be real, guys. And
yeah. And
then
I feel like I mean like really like it's not even like I feel like I know as a person who sells and just collects and we do all this stuff. There's things in the back end that a lot of people don't bother to think about. Like for example, how Jaden said, you got rent, you got overhead, you got maybe an employee or two, whatever, right? You have all those things. The person who's looking just to get the cheapest price is not concerned about any of those things. And I mean, to be fair, cool, you probably shouldn't be concerned about those things because you're just the customer. However, if you are the customer, you should at least think about those things. Those are things that you think, okay, I'm gonna pay 125 for my split. Okay, but that split's also going to X, Y, and Z parts to keep my local here, keep my friends in business, to keep
It's the community aspect.
it's a community
yeah,
aspect, yeah, and
which
that's why a
people
lot of
aren't
brick
gonna
and mortar
care.
no, and that's why a lot of brick and mortars. I mean, if you guys go to your locals, what do they sell there? They sell the cards, they sell
Oh, Magic
sodas,
and Yu-Gi-Oh.
they sell
That's it.
chips, because it's like somebody has to keep them afloat. And if you're sitting there arguing with the person who's trying to sell you something about drive the price down, like, damn, buddy, like I'm sorry, but you're just being inconsiderate at that point. Like, you don't respect the person, you're not respecting their prices. Like again, too, for me, if you don't like the price, if you don't like X, Y, and Z about it, hey man, go buy it on TCG Player, go do whatever you want, have a good time. But just remember, that's gonna take away from your community, and that's not gonna help other people to be like, hey, where should I go pick up my splits from? Oh, go to your local shop. No, let me just buy everything online, wait a few weeks, and then figure it out from there. You know?
But people aren't gonna care because here's another thing too, right? So let's say someone does a place a pre-order, and just like how you were saying, things drop, things go up. So uh, it's very, very true. During sneak weekend, especially the week before official release, a lot of products will always be higher than normal because you have one, no basis of where everyone else is buying, selling from. You just have your own number you want to throw. You have limited stock and you're ahead of everybody, so you want to sell for your price tag includes an advantage of having the cards early. Now, all of this added together combines into a charge of a cost. Well, guess what? When people buy cards either at this upcharge price or when they buy playsets, right? Let's say 125. Oh, but I checked a week after, and my cards are now worth only like $80. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Well, sucks to suck. Like, I'm sorry, it happened. Like, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to refund you $45 because your cards went down now? No,
Yeah.
you're not gonna go to any other any business and say, "Hey, my food's not worth $40 now. Give me back $5."
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Like, that's gonna happen. And then
Yeah.
another thing that has happened too is just that uh the flip has happened. The day of, people want stuff. They come over and say, "Oh, I wanna buy this playset. Did you have a pre-order? No, I just want to buy it now. All right, your total comes up to like 160, 180. Wait, why is it this much? Your pre-sub play-order was $100. Yeah, that was the pre-order. Now that
Hmm.
everything's out, everything has a market price. Pay the 180, buddy. And I know this very, very accurately as a number because guess what? Set 4, Hypnotic Swirler was a $30 triple R.
I love the fact that like now that I look at my playset and their SP and I'm like, why are they so expensive? But prices are prices. Like we know that.
Athoria Jewel Dragon. That's why.
It's
Yeah.
the probably the best card in Dark States, or one of the best cards, because it's
Honestly,
generic as
yeah.
well. It's like inlet.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Like we see the
Overdress is really
prices.
tight on generics as well. Like there's
It is. It
very
is.
few. Like unless your store your deck is 90% engine focused.
shh, just because I have generics left and right.
Yeah.
Like
they're
Brangate
gonna
has
have
like
stuff.
one that's like
Bobomine?
super
Maybe.
playable.
Like Penguin, even if that. And
Bobomine?
Penguin's like
Yeah, Bullmean, Penguin.
yeah.
It's like two
I
if you
wouldn't
want to
even
play.
say
There's like two.
Penguin because
Yeah.
Penguin's not
Penguin kind of sucks.
universal.
Penguin sucks.
Yeah. Penguin's pretty.
You can't
Yeah,
Penguin
it's
for
pretty bad.
prison.
No,
No.
Penguin sucks.
I don't know why you would Penguin for prison. That would hurt
Hey
me.
man,
I
what if you want to run
I bought
4
hollows
prison?
and I feel like I negged.
No,
But
you bought hollows and they go up in price because people want to pay more. So
because
it's all
Ava,
good.
dude, because Ava.
Yeah, because
They're not even played. That's the worst part.
But that's the biggest thing, right? Like, people don't understand that when this is happening for their cards, when they see like, oh, I want this, I want to play this, or my mindset says I want to do this, then be proactive. Don't just sit there. And when you're proactive, yeah, you might, lose an extra buck or two, but to solidify the ability to get what you want, isn't that better than complaining about, oh, I can't pick up this card now because it's too expensive.
much.
I think it's more people underestimate having a locals. Like I haven't had one in 4 years, I think, or more.
I mean, at the rate that
My
people
locals
are
imploded.
acting,
It's my locals imploded because the shop owner made it physically impossible to buy the packs from him at one point. Like it was a $30 box online, and he was charging $100, and you're just like, I cannot sanely pay that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Uh,
that's the market version of the owner just killing the game.
Yeah, no, that's just him not understanding. Like it's him, and the some distributors are just terrible, and that's a
Yeah.
reality where they just get dealt a short stick.
Yeah.
But
But
like,
that's
if
the
you
thing, like,
can, I
that
think
is
it's
a
slept
very
on. Is like
good
buy the boxes. Dear God, support your locals. Buy boxes.
Yeah.
but people don't care. They don't want to pick up a box because they don't get what they want. And here's the flip side, right? So me as a locals, uh I don't specialize in boxes. Matter of fact, I actually discourage from buying boxes at my own locals. I'd rather you buy your singles
Well, yeah, no,
because
that makes sense. But like your locals is heavily specialized towards Bushiroad. Um, a lot of locals, especially in like my area, I found a store that carries Vanguard. They don't have like tournaments for it, but they have it, and people just randomly go in there and buy boxes.
Yeah. Sealed product is always good for the shops.
that
Like
can
we
be
know those
generic.
are always better for the shops. And I mean, those will help your community. That'll
If I
invest
saw
towards your shop.
DBTO4, I'd buy it.
uh,
That is money.
Yeah, that's why it sucks to think like the player base might not, again, player base might not think that way. Again, there's probably some of you that do this all the time, and there's a lot of you that might, you guys might buy boxes every single time a box comes out from your local. Maybe you might buy 2 or 3 with you and your friends, which is, again,
That's
something
cool.
that we encourage.
It's
Yeah.
great. Like,
Yeah, it's super, super good. But if
uh,
you're not, like, again, my thing is like, we know that the shops are gonna want to try and make as much money as they can because they need to stay in business. If your shop is only being run by Vanguard, I'm sorry, your shop probably isn't gonna do all that great. If it's a shop, a physical, brick and mortar store,
Yeah,
like
like
you need the money flow. You need people coming in. That's why I feel like Pokemon is such a great thing for most people to sell because people will literally just go in any store and buy a Pokemon product. They'll buy it at a markup.
hmm
A
oh
lot of
yeah, no, they.
resellers do
I
that.
was watching people buying. What was it? Evolving Skies.
Oh
evolving.
yeah, yeah.
When the EV set,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh,
evolving
when it
skies.
definitely.
was like
Yeah,
peak hype, right, for like
yeah.
150, $200. I
What
was
happened? We even got
watching
to
it
the point.
happen in like Michigan, and it was weird.
Yeah, I think we even got to the point where that whole issue started. What Target to lock up their boxes, right? I
hmm
think like you could
They
only
stopped
go in there and
carrying
buy.
Pokemon for a while as well.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. But you know
But
who didn't stop carrying Pokemon? Your local shop. Local shop still had it.
And even then, right? Like a lot of players that
sold out
didn't
immediately.
care about
Yeah,
the
sold out immediately.
they didn't care about this type of market, right? They supported. Guess what? Their communities are doing really well.
Yeah.
However, the people that care about saving the extra dollar or two, I mean, I've said this before, and we'll say it again. If you need to worry about what's gonna happen next, if you buy this, you're not gonna be able to eat. You're not gonna be able to
Mhm.
go and have fun. You should not be buying it. You should not be, doing this at all. You should be out trying to make sure your life is together before you even try to do something as much as a hobby.
One thing I've
And
been huge on is I'm pro proxy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm like
I love proxy play.
huge pro proxy.
no, and
Yeah.
that's fine though.
Even at low, because like if this one dude's struggling to survive and just wants that outlet, right? I'm not gonna say, yeah, you have to spend $200 on a full Nirvana deck to play. Like, no, dude, play
Yeah.
what you want. I don't care. It's like we in Discords, I'm pretty active in that part of Vanguard. Everyone's
Mhm.
asking like, I can't afford this. I don't have a locals. I have to drive 4 hours, and I'm like, don't buy cards.
Yeah.
Proxy and play remote fight. No one's gonna
Yeah.
care. Like,
No,
no
no
one.
one's. Yeah, no one's gonna get on you because you're just playing a deck that you want to learn.
It's
I on the
no different
yeah,
than playing CFA. Just like,
exactly. Yeah, literally. As
just you
long
get
as
to
you
play with
know
cards.
you're.
That's cooler.
Yeah, it's at least something physical that you can mess around with. It saves you money, honestly. Like there's a lot of times where I've proxy decked and I'm like, oh, this actually doesn't play or feel the way that I kind of thought it would. And I just don't even buy it. Just to be like,
Yeah.
ah, well, don't need that.
And then there's gonna be people that are gonna wholeheartedly disagree with all this, right? They're gonna be like,
Mm.
oh, but it's a tournament, you can't proxy. Oh, but it's uh, you shouldn't be poor to play this game. Like, why? Like, bro, just you can do your own thing. Try to support your players, and hey, if you want to be a nice guy to not, if you want to be a jerk to not let people proxy, right? How about trying to be a nice guy? Try to see if the group can everybody put together a dollar to buy the cards that they need. Like,
Like the Yu thing in the anime. I don't even watch the anime. I just know what happened where he like
oh, where
walked into the
everyone,
local shop and they just handed him cards.
yeah,
Yeah,
Because they
like
just wanted him to play. Like that's a thing
yeah. That
in
that
good
is
I
really
mean, it
communities.
decent.
happens in a lot of real life places too. Not even just in an anime. I've seen it. I've done it.
Yeah,
I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many times that players are like, "Oh, I'm missing this one card, and it's like $30, and I can't afford it." I literally sat there, I counted heads, and I'm like, "Yo, everyone down to give this man a dollar?" And we did.
I mean, hey, it helps.
are you
And I
guys
feel like
familiar with the Japanese shop system at all?
Where the
a little bit,
cards are
yeah.
on the wall?
How they work? How the whole Japanese market works?
Oh,
Just elaborate. What do you
it's
mean?
I have a vague. I'm pretty sure it's very vague for me, but To my understanding, they are very they're
There's
very.
one major.
I was gonna say they're very supportive of each other.
It's more they are very much not peer to peer. So like Facebook groups where and like other shit where they sell cards to each other doesn't really exist. Like yes, they use Mercari and stuff like that on occasion, but peer-to-peer transactions do not happen. 90% of the time, they're just like, I'm just gonna sell it to this shop.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely how it was when I was out there. I felt like most people, you pull your crazy high rarity stuff, and there you go, you sell it right back to the shop, and the shops are willing to pay for it. I mean,
Like
they know
shops
that
are
they have.
paying 4,000 yen for Yuika, the generic lyrical grade
Yes,
one.
the card is sold for 50, but they're paying 40. But that's the thing though over there, because everything is not peer to peer, right? Because everything
Yeah, that's
is
why. Like it's just an example.
no,
Like
but like
Mhm.
because they can pay so high, because then a lot of people are gonna only listen that they're paying 80% on the card. They're gonna stop at that and ask their own locals to do 80%, and they'll start doing no peer to peer transactions. You also have to understand Japan, because there's no peer to peer, they are willing to buy high because it incentivizes people to move cards. It incentivizes people to sell to the shop so the shop can sell it to someone else. They make $10. You lose 10, sure. The person at the end makes a total of buys the card for a total of $50, but the cards move, the money flows, and the shop can continue flowing and thriving and moving product left and right.
super
However,
cool.
people are, especially in the US, especially here, right? They're so greedy. They would
Yeah.
rather say, "Hey shop, you don't get to eat my $10. I'm gonna sell the card for 50. Screw you."
Yeah.
And funny enough, right? And this is what a lot of shops don't do. They like, at least for me, if a person did that to me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna sell you this card," I'll give you 3 seconds to walk away the moment you say that in front of me. If you do not, got it. You will never be able to set foot in my building ever again. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Why do you say that?
You're banned.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you talking about like
Yeah.
peer to
Yeah. You
peer
mean like?
at the shop?
Peer to peer in a shop.
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like
people
don't do
people.
that. That's
Yeah,
that's
don't do
just
that.
like, that's common courtesy. Like don't do that shit.
Yeah,
Except,
you can literally just walk outside and then sell
no,
your
you're
stuff.
not even not allowed to do this outside. You're not allowed to do this on the premises. The premises includes a parking lot.
I will walk across the street and
Go
I will
for it.
get my money.
Go for it.
I will get my money. Easy. I've done it a million
I
times.
see.
But yeah,
So, how did you contact the player when you're not allowed in the building?
I did hand signals, elaborate hand signals.
Oh, smoke signals too?
Yeah. One wink means yes, two winks means no. So I don't know. Maybe the one wink meant something else, but I still got money out of it, so
Ooh,
it's all good.
ooh.
I do think the peer to peer thing started in Vanguard because of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, a lot
Because
of
like a
Yu-Gi-Oh
majority
players
of the initial player base was just Yu-Gi-Oh players being like, I'm out. They banned half my
Yeah.
Plan Synchro deck.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
I mean, peer to peer has always been a thing. Like the shop, people. It also started with people not being happy with the money or the number that the shop gave them. So instead they said, "Hey, I don't like them, but I overheard that you wanted this card. Hey, I know the shop's selling for $20. I'll sell it to you for like 18. I got you." Like
Mhm.
that started happening, and it just became more and more and more of a thing, to where shops need to compete for some reason with peer to peer instead of competing with just other shops. Like, I feel that that is
Like that's just weird. I
laughable.
don't know.
That's laughable to me.
It's just not worth doing that stuff, in my opinion.
I
It's just
mean,
the thing too of like, okay, if
Like
you
you don't got to
if
do it there. Just loan them the card and then figure it out later,
yeah, or
or
even
just
like
have them buy it like from the shop.
yeah, or like the prices to be like, all right, well, like how can it? It's like, all right, the shop, I pulled the card, right? I probably paid like, we'll say like 3, 4 bucks for a pack. The card is worth 20 bucks. The shop will sell it to you for 25. The person that pulled it might sell it to you for 20, 18, whatever, you know. But then it's like you're just taking the middleman. So there's nothing wrong with that. But again, too, you do that, taking away from the shop. Other players, cool, you support other players, but that other player that pulled that card could have easily sold it to the shop and then like make money that way, you know. But
I
I don't know.
mean, a lot of people just don't care though because once again, we are in a society now where people are greedy. And
People been greedy the whole societies can. I think
no, but
there's
they
never been
they're
greedy people.
greedy to the point where every little thing matters to them. They don't care about the thrivingness of a community. They only care about themselves. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, selfish people do exist. You know that.
I
We
mean,
just can't
it's a
like
lot of card players in general now.
yeah. And I think it might go back to the biggest thing of like, look, if you can't afford it, don't buy it, dude. Like
Right?
Okay,
really, if
you'll
you're
live.
sitting there, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you'll live. Just go proxy. Go do something else. Like
Please eat food.
if you,
Please
yeah,
live.
yeah. If you just can't buy it, then don't do it. Like, and if you even if you're sitting there thinking, oh, but oh, the guy who pulled it, dude, he's gonna give it to me for like 15. Oh, it's like 30 online, dude. That's half. Like, I have to take it. Like, no, you don't have to take it. You're letting FOMO fucking dictate your mindset, letting everybody hype you up into being like, oh, I gotta buy this. Like, no, you really don't. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just like it does make you sad, right? Because a lot of people they buy cards, they can't afford it, and they somehow buy it, and then they have to end up selling it. And look at as I offer them the lowered value, I'm just like, I should be sorry, but I'm not.
No, because they knew the consequences. Like, I guess that's something maybe they don't know, or maybe they just don't think. Like, hey, dude, like your price, whatever you bought it at, could go down. Not everything is a great investment. We know that good investments exist, and like that's normal. Sometimes you can buy something and it goes up, you know,
But
two hundred
all of this
percent.
goes back to our the social figureheads. They proudly announce, "Oh, this just happened. I made so much." Well,
Yeah,
monkey see, monkey do.
true.
It's pretty strange that the whole calling buying cards when it's just like a, it's a fucking card game, like an investment now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
really.
especially with Vanguard, where it's like, I don't know, it's like a very shitty stock market.
It is. It is. You're not making hella money off of it, you know.
I
But
think I've lost more than like buying these DSPs than I've gained.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but the
there's only
thing
been a
is,
handful that like it
people
makes a
only
lot of
want to
money.
see the plus in their life. They don't want to lose money, and especially
Yeah,
when people are given the opportunity to, they'd rather say, "Hey, I'd rather make more money than lose a little bit, but to help out the entire community as a whole."
that's that copium and helicopium. But yeah, it's like if you're gonna look at it from the perspective of like, yeah, this is a market, this is a cards are stocks. Like, sure, you can buy something early and it goes up, or you could buy something early and then you just throw money away. Part of the game. You don't like buying expensive cards? Again, buy it cheap, get it from the shop, get it from your friends. You know, like how many people's friends don't we know that have like whole extra play sets of clans? You know, like I
I
literally have
mean,
like underneath my bed is just
do you
yeah,
want to say the smart half or the dumb half?
yeah, that's why. But the smart half, a smart person would be like, hey, my friend also plays the clan. Hey, friend, do you happen to have some spare cards? Yeah, I do, buddy. Here you go. Nice. I just saved a week or two of shipping and maybe like 5, 10 bucks. Like, cool. Congratulations.
Because there's also the dumb half that uh, has the friends that are asking to to receive the handouts, and that's the thing, right? Like that's another problem of this culture, and it goes back to the whole peer-to-peer thing. People circumvent the whole market to try to get what they want.
Yeah. We know people want things for cheap. It's always been the buying and selling process. I mean, I've even I'll tell you guys a little kind of sidetrack story. Like, I had a guy who basically swindled me out of like $100 because he told me he had a television in a box, and I was like, oh yeah, like that TV is easily worth like $300-400. Here's $100 out of my face. Give me the TV, and it was a wooden box. There was nothing in there. So
Yikes.
that's what happens when you get greedy. You get got.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, it was embarrassing, but it was.
Did you learn your lesson?
Oh, I learned my lesson. And you know what? I still, people are like, it's cheap. I'm like, yes, give me it now. Even though I learned my lesson like an idiot. Yeah,
But hey,
pretty bad.
there's gonna be people that are gonna take advantage of that, and that's
Yep.
honestly I wish people would learn.
I learned the hard
So
way, man.
right. So that is gonna be all for this week. Stay tuned next week for the next episode. We do not have the subject yet, but please be assured it will be a good one. So it's gonna be KCTCG, Sebs, and Shaden signing off.
There, guys.
John.
Oh, bye. Sorry, I was dealing with cat. Trying to eat cardboard. I'm sorry.
Alright, bye guys.
See you later, guys.
Not a bright cat.
All the way down, and then you make like like, I don't know. If I had the time, like I know I'd be spending all my time doing it. That'd be fun, actually. I don't know, like just.
Damn, this is a big turn.
We went to Odyssey because they're like had those little teeth things. Oh yeah. Every time they do fun clubs, instead of
This
like.
welcome to Texas. Honor Block 1. Fallout 1. Unfortunately, but I'll just call it off. Actually, take.
Damn.
Call that.
There, Ghost Chase that PG.
You never know. And then this call one.
Yeah, but then you can roll like say you roll every time, so you roll 12 dice. Of those that roll 3 up, you re-roll those, and it's like there's a lot of sequencing.
48,
That's gonna be a pain in the ass.
and then this one is. Wait, you did? No, you didn't do that order. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
If I can front, yeah. So 10, 20,
So my front row gets 20k.
48, and that is 21, 41. Sure.
And it's triple drive?
But it takes about like
Cool. 41,
So,
Yes.
15, 25? Yep.
33,
Oh no, this is, yeah.
40.
So this will be 23? Effect? At the top.
Number.
Leave on top. Oh, that's the thing that lets you do it?
One down.
Yeah. Okay. I did not know.
Sick.
Leave me on top.
My turn.
Dad says it's my turn.
25.
You're so
23, I mean.
Oh,
This is gonna be 20.
Oh no, is right, child.
I stay in the room a lot lately. I mean, that's a smart play.
33
I'll
effect.
let you know in 2 weeks if I'm just like, either that or come back a winner. That's all I care about.
Actually,
Oh, no. That is 11.
this
20?
one.
How big is this?
33. What would you like? Piano or upright?
This is a very painful turn, by the way.
25?
for me.
Oh, for me.
For me.
30?
Add this one back.
What you had back? Oh, you're gonna play it.
Yeah.
It's super next week. Bro! How much is the first edition of
That's what I did.
I know, right? It's like the play.
Excuse me, sir. You have to counter buff 1.
You're right.
Even though.
You're right. And then
Let's resolve that.
Resolving this. It's gonna go in here again. I'm gonna go ahead and.
I did a thing.
Do I need soul? No, I don't need soul.
I'm not drawing my good
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm drawing gas.
I'm not. You're pretty condensed. Like some
43.
How big are those?
48.
some Viet coffee up in here.
I hit the perfect number.
I know you do.
Damn, dude. TFW, your dad hits the crit trigger when you try a defensive when he's beating you.
You need to plan out the guard.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's the OT in your hand.
No, it's not. It's
He put one card down to guard.
Or is it?
yeah, it's when after he empties his hand.
Double trigger.
How big?
Wait, hold up.
There's no way about all opening shit.
You know what? Go ahead. You just make my
Man,
good
that might
night.
do it.
No, it's live now. I didn't have one.
Wait, where'd you put the 100 mil?
Easy.